Thank you for taking time out of your day to observe a site Sandy and I believe are truly fascinating and important for the academic growth of students who are struggling with a discipline that typically poses a problem for many, that is mathematics. This presentation will begin with an introduction of the site, which will follow with an elaborate description of some of the more salient features of the site. Throughout the presentation, viewers will be provided with an opportunity to examine and analyze some of the more important features of the site. Once the description and features of the site are laid out, viewers will then be provided with an opportunity to look at what kinds of students will benefit from the site. Finally, my partner will go on to describe research related to the site and provide a systematic description on how this website can be incorporated in the classroom. Before getting too far ahead, let's begin with a description of the site. The Homework Help site, whose link is provided on the slide, provides an online resource for students in grades 7 to 10 to seek math help on various topics in the Canadian curriculum. In order to ensure ease in navigation, students are provided with a demo video on the site that explains how students can use the site and how they can benefit from some of the site's features. In the left column of the website, students and teachers can find various links such as Ask a Tutor Help, interactive tutorials, and tutor schedules. All these links are constructed in a way to aid students in acquiring the appropriate help with concepts and topics that relate to the curriculum. Furthermore, students are also provided with additional resources such as a calculator, a glossary of key mathematical terms, a locker where they can store the information that they learned, and an About section that allows them to acquire information related to the web's design. These resources are all geared toward helping students become successful in their pursuits and acquiring the necessary information to succeed in mathematics. Finally, the website also provides educators with an opportunity to explore job opportunities that will unquestionably aid in their professional development. I think that we should begin with an in-depth analysis of many of the features that are available on the Homework Help website. So let's begin with the calculator. Although this feature is relatively self-explanatory, I think it's important to examine the impact this feature has on the efficacy of the website. By providing students with the ability to use a calculator in unison with their online sessions and during any tutoring session with online tutorial support, students have the ability to focus less on gathering the necessary materials to be successful and more on the concepts and ideas presented in mathematics. In addition, there's a glossary. There are various mathematical terms and symbols as students encounter through their mathematical studies that require definition or clarification. The glossary allows students to find this clarification. It helps students work through problems and become comfortable with mathematical vocabulary, so to speak. As a result, students are provided with greater support to be successful. By far, one of the greatest features of the site is the quote-unquote locker. The locker allows students to save tutorials and chat sessions at any time to review or visit later on. This feature reinforces concepts already learned and helps students be successful later on during mathematics. By allowing students the ability to review concepts that are fundamental and that act as building blocks, so to speak, for bigger and more elaborate mathematical concepts, students have a greater chance of being successful in mathematics. By far the greatest feature of the site is the tutor chat room, which allows students to engage in dialogue between other peers who are seeking help and the tutor designated to the chat room. Once a student has successfully registered for free, he or she has the ability of joining real-time tutoring sessions where a student is not only able to present a question to the online tutor, but also view questions of peers being solved in real time. This provides students with an interesting dynamic. They are not only able to learn from other students' questions, but also learn from presenting questions themselves. A real innovation in education. I also think it's important to examine which students will not benefit from the site. Given the content presented and covered on the site, students below the grade 7 or above grade 10 may not find the site particularly useful. Those below grade 7 may find some of the content presented on the site somewhat too advanced, whereas those students above grade 10 may find the content rather simplistic. However, I think it is important to note that students above grade 10 can use the site as an excellent source of review. Many of the concepts presented on the site are fundamental concepts that are needed in order to advance into more difficult areas of mathematics. Also, students who struggle with technology or written instruction will definitely not reap the benefits of the site. Obviously, it's a computer-based website that requires access to a technological device and the use of this device to be able to use the site, as well as most of the instruction presented on the site is through written text. So one has to be able to comprehend and absorb this text and use it in a way that is cohesive with the site. Also, students that struggle with written communication will definitely not benefit from the site. One of the most important features of the site is the online tutoring session, where students have the ability to interact with an online tutor and express their difficulties in a certain area of mathematics. Students who are unable to do this will not be able to engage in these sessions, and as a result will definitely not be able to experience, I think, one of the greatest benefits of the site. Finally, students that require more extreme intervention will not benefit from the site. The site is designed in a way where students who are experiencing difficulty can have an outlet to find help to overcome this difficulty. However, I believe it only helps those students who have minor struggles. There are certain students that have a certain number of exceptionalities that require a more extreme one-on-one type of intervention. This approach, I believe, cannot be accomplished through the Math Help website, and as a result, students that require this type of intervention will not benefit from the site. As mentioned during the description portion of the presentation, the Homework Help internet site is geared towards students in grades 7 and 10 who are experiencing difficulty with mathematics. Given the fact that this site is strictly offered online, these students must have access to a computer and be able to successfully navigate the online world. In addition, students must be able to read and communicate in English as well as follow instruction that is outlined on the website.
So what's the rationale around the Homework Help website? One of the things this year is that the Ontario government is putting a very large push on improving mathematics scores on the EQAO standardized tests. The Math Homework Help site fits very well into this idea that the government has in order to improve math scores across the province. So the website is created to help reach more students in the areas of math and give them another venue to learn and be successful with mathematics. All of the tutors are Ontario certified teachers who've been working in a permanent position for 5 years, so they know what they're talking about. The website is available to students 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but the tutoring sessions are meant to be accessed outside of school time by students. The Homework Helps website uses differentiated instruction to help maximize mathematical success, and more recently they've added the ability for students to connect with their social media sites such as Facebook and Twitter, as well as help spread the word about the website in order to make it more successful and more used across the province. So what does the research say about the Homework Help website? Not very much, unfortunately. It is a very new website, and all we know is what the Ontario Ministry of Education has told us, and that it has been successful. They're rolling it out province-wide this year. as well as encouraging teachers in grades 7 to 10 to get their students on there. Every student has a free membership in the public system, but they are also planning on expanding to grades 11 and 12 and eventually junior divisions in the near future. It did win the Interactive Media Award for Outstanding Achievement in Education for 2011, so very, very positive things are coming out of it. And using a math-based website is beneficial to a child's success in math, but also allows them to use the computer and internet, which is something that they enjoy doing, and gives them another access point to mathematics that they didn't necessarily have before. Now, although there wasn't a lot of specific research about this website, there are websites out there that are offering tutoring assistance and mathematics help to students, mostly in the United States. Most researchers and educators agree that it's a new venue that's allowing us to reach more students in math and help them. It also alleviates stress and anxiety from students who don't want to raise their hand or ask a question in class. It also gives students who have a not so positive relationship with the teacher that teaches them mathematics a way of getting help without having to be in an uncomfortable position with a teacher that they may not like. The last thing that most of the websites I read about said was imperative is incorporating students in the transformation of the website. With the Homework Help website, students have an opportunity to leave feedback and participate in surveys to help make it more effective and accessible to them. And that's imperative in creating a positive website for students that they will use. All right, so I will be taking you through the Homework Help website from the teacher point of view. I already have an account and I've logged into my account with the Homework Help website. As you'll notice on the tools side of things, I don't have the locker feature as that is a student-only feature. So some of the things that you can use, it also gives us the ability to ask a tutor if we need help in teaching a math lesson. But the first thing I'd like to draw your attention to is the best sessions. These are tutoring sessions that the website is deemed as very, very effective. So you can go here if you're going to be teaching a class, say on fractions, and you'd like to enhance your lesson or even use it as an introduction. So we're going to look for fractions. And here we go, how to add fractions. If I was introducing this concept to my class, I could bring this up on a digital projector and allow the students to look at it. And I'm just going to let this run for a minute so you can hear the interaction of the tutor and see how this all works.
Hi there, welcome to Homework Help. I see that you're looking at adding fractions. Do you have a specific example that you want to add together? No? Okay, well, I'll write one out then. Now, when we add fractions, what must we always have? A common denominator. Good. So
as you can see, this is a session between a tutor and a student, and it goes through helping the student figure out the problem that they're trying to solve. The next thing I want to draw your attention to is the interactive tutorials. Again, we're going to stick with fractions. And this is a lesson that you could show in your classroom. I'm just going to click on Learn and let you hear it go through this so you get an idea of how this could be effective in your classroom as well. So these are interactive and they come with several parts. So the student can read through, or you can set it up so that your students are using a wireless keyboard and mouse with your digital projector and they can go through it. So fractions are all around us. Okay, we learned that part. And we're going to go over and it's going to show us the parts of a fraction. And there are 3 parts in this section. And then we'll move on to part 2. It's getting more detailed. These are equivalent fractions, how you can find them, how to simplify, etc. And then it comes up with the conclusion. And again, you can review things that were learned in the session, in the interactive tutorial. This can be something that you can use in the class as a classroom interactive piece or with a student who's having difficulty. The last thing I would like to draw your attention to in the resource section is the listen and learn. So again, I'm going to look for a grade 7, possibly fraction related lesson. Here we go, fractions, addition, and subtraction. This is a full lesson. So if you didn't feel like teaching for the day, or if you had a student who missed a class and they needed to get caught up, you could put them in front of a computer and play this for them, or you could put it in front of your class and let it play. And I'm just going to play it, a little bit of it for you so you get an idea of what it could entail.
Hello, and welcome to Fractions, Addition, and Subtraction. My screen name is Canada Goose. I'm an Ontario teacher, and I'll be presenting this Listen and Learn presentation. The topic is taught in grade 7, but everyone is welcome to attend. The presentation will take about 20 to 30 minutes, after which we'll have a question and answer period. When it's over, you can test your knowledge by taking a short quiz. A link is on the web page where you launched the presentation. If you can't hear me very well, make sure your speakers or headphones are working. If you haven't done so yet, you might want to download and print the presentation slides so you can take notes as we go along. I also recommend that you have paper, a pencil, and a calculator on hand as you listen and participate in this presentation. Okay, ready to go? Let's explore fractions, addition, and subtraction.
So as you can see, that could be used in a classroom by the teacher or to catch a singular student up, or even if you have a student who's been struggling with it, this could just be another entry point into fraction, addition, and subtraction from another point of view that they can learn it from as well if they're not successfully learning it from you. The other section I wanted to draw your attention to is the teacher section. There are job opportunities for Ontario certified teachers on this website if you want to become a tutor. There are classroom tools that are small little tutorials to help you get your students registered, introduce you to the website, and games that you can do with your students so that they get engaged and are interested to use this, because the goal is to get students to use this as a math tool. There's also key information about how to register your class, things that students and teachers would benefit from, and we tutor, not answer, which I love because we don't want to give our students the answers. We want to help them find the answers themselves. So there's just little information bits here for you if you are interested in looking at it. So that concludes your tour of the Homework Help website. I've been using it this school year because it's the first year I've taught math, and it has been very beneficial. I particularly like the interactive tutorials and quite often use them in my class for my students. They really enjoy it, and I found that it has been very successful. Thank you very much.